travel to a faraway jungle to find the source, each having their own reasons. Welcome to the Tomb of Annihilation. Let's get this party started. So, welcome back everybody to session number 9, episode 9, the attack on Firefinger. In our last session, you left Port Nyanzaru with Azaka as your guide. Your mission was to find Kirsibal and the blood of the royal family. Return it to the merchant princes and Kathla in order to create a cure for the plague sweeping the lands, and to stop a war between the mining dwarf clan Strongin clan and the Duke of Baldur's Gate. Azaka agreed to travel with you at no charge, provided you help her recover a family heirloom, a wooden mask that is precious to her. The mask is being held by the Terrafolk in the Firefinger, which is only a few days off course on the way to Kirsibal. You journeyed down the river Tiriaki for 6 days, stopping off to investigate the footprints Liara Porter spoke about. You encountered a horde of 20-something undead heading your way and fled back to the river. Travelling further downriver, you managed to evade several more perilous beings and dangers, thanks to Azaka's keen eye. And you also encountered some other adventurers on the river who warned you of hags up ahead. Not 2 days later, were you set upon by either the hags themselves or the creatures they control. For much of that morning, you outpaced them as they chased you downriver. Strong paddling from all of you meant you managed to escape their clutches, eventually fleeing down some rapids. Looking back, the creatures could only be described as were-sharks. By day 6, you berthed your canoe on the land and travelled into the jungle to avoid the Terrafolk patrols as you neared the Firefinger, under the cover of the jungle canopy. The Firefinger itself is a 300-foot-tall natural rock spire with a burning bright beacon of flame at its top. It is night time, and it has been 19 days since you first ventured into the jungle. Using a rope and pittons, you climbed 60 feet to the top of the ladder and now stand in the mouth of a cave at the base section of Firefinger. Those of you with dark vision can make out more than one body lying on the jungle floor around the base of Firefinger, crumpled, broken, skewered. The cave mouth is 10 foot wide, 8 foot long. The ceiling here is 15 foot high. Beyond the mouth, the cave itself appears to be a natural cave, about 20 foot wide and 15 foot long. It is dominated by a 10 foot deep pit, which is about 15 foot by 15 foot. A 5 foot path skirts the right hand side of the pit with 2 small exits branching off to the right. At the far left of the cave, 15 feet across the pit, is another exit branching north. This exit is 5 feet higher than your current position and 15 feet from the bottom of the pit. The wall in front of it appears smooth. It is dark in the cave, and those without dark vision cannot see into the pit more than 10 feet ahead of you. And this is where we pick up. Over to you.
Hello? I cannot see anyone.
Firstly, who does not have dark vision?
I don't.
Okay. So, I think you're the only one who doesn't have dark vision.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, so.
Do you hold any type of weapon?
Do you think I will be okay with a torch?
Yeah, if you wish. Do you hold any type of weapon?
I don't.
Any type of... Okay.
So I'm asking if you're okay. You all are okay with me lighting a torch?
I think as long as you do it inside and it's not visible from the outside, it's fine.
Alright, I will do that.
Alright. You reach into your pack, you get down on one knee, you pull out a torch, you pull out your flint and tinder, and the torch catches a flame, and you pick it up, and you can see deep into the cave, to the path onto the other side of the wall, where the corridor branches north. There's a corridor that branches off to the right in front of you, and slightly behind you where Vargo is standing as well.
I unequip my shield just so I can have a free hand.
So you're going to be holding torch in one hand, and you're going to hold a weapon in the other? Or at the
No,
moment?
no weapon. Just one hand free and in the other a torch.
Alright.
A light torch.
Okay, given that you're all now covered in bright light, your dark vision slowly fades as well, and you can't see past the light. Let's just add a aura torchlight. Okay. Everyone good? So
Yes.
Dusted Coal is now bathed in the glow of a warm torchlight.
I can do the aura around my character. So yeah.
Okay, so who's doing what? Who's up next?
Dustin is going to push in a little further to see if he can. I mean, just if he can see anything. Like, because there's only one way, and that's kind of in at the moment into the cave. Or else we just stand all on the little balcony down here.
Mm-hmm. So, Dusted, you're going to move up and skirt the side. It looks like Vargo's busy moving around in between the gap.
Just move up here so there's more room, that people don't just stand there perilously close to the staircase or the stairs.
Okay. Vargo, as you move slowly down that corridor, you can see the cavern begins to open up ahead of you. Let me take off some of the fog here. And it actually appears to connect through to the other side. You can see the light from your torch spilling out into the other side. There is nothing visible on the ground. The ceiling is still the same height above you.
I try to scare Dusted. Nah, I don't.
I mean, the fact that I can see torchlight coming around the corner, I think I would have been prepared for that as well.
Yeah, it's a very low DC. So we have to come down the pit, I suppose.
Could you hold the torch just to be able to check the size of this? So,
Sure.
could you hold it so it's possible to see down the chasm, basically? Dustin is gonna just take a little bit of time to study the walls, because he's again considering just jumping first before thinking.
Okay.
And climbing along the sides.
So, when you say you're going to take the time to study it, are you going to try and discern?
He's gonna kneel down and check if at least the surfaces of the pit. Basically, check. He's gonna try to sort of like kick the side of it just to see if it's prone to. How do you say prone to?
Crumbling or
Caving
debris?
in?
Yeah, I mean if it's sort of like sliding down, if it's not avalanche but something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
If it just gives way, if you can actually use it for climbing, because if it's just gonna fall apart the second he puts his claw in, it's kind of dumb, and he ends at the bottom of the fucking chasm here.
Cool. In which case, then roll an investigation check for me, seeing as you're actually poking and prodding. You're not just
That
standing.
was supposed to be a 19, but then it became a 2. Yay!
Okay, so Dustin gets down on like all fours, meow, licks his paws and cleans his ears as he leans one foot over the side and starts knocking and tapping. You're a bit nervous about, checking because your instinct is telling you to jump into the pit, so you don't do a thorough job at all.
I just jump. Yay! Jump me.
So you're just going to jump in. Is anyone else?
I mean, with that roll, definitely.
How deep is the pit?
It is 10 foot down.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah. It's about 15 by 15 foot. Obviously, each square on the map's 5 feet. But while Dustin is doing his investigation, is anyone else going to be doing anything?
I will cast light on my shield and walk this path, just looking around as well.
Okay.
Since I don't know what they had seen there.
Alright, I'm going to add an aura to you, so you're giving out light as well. Okay, so you're going to move down there. What about Velris and Yarlena? What are you two?
Currently just observing the pit.
Mm-hmm. Just looking in or perceiving?
Yeah, looking in.
And Yarlena?
She's also going to keep an eye on the pit. And also an eye on if they're drawing any attention from outside.
Okay. You can see Azaka has backed up against the back wall next to you, and she's keeping an eye on the sky above.
Okay.
She's acting. Well, roll a perception check for me.
It is.
Okay. She backs into you and bumps into you, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then puts her back against the wall where she's standing on the map, and you can see her looking up, almost moving with her backwards as close as she can towards the opening of the cave. Otherwise, looking around you don't spot anything. You don't see anything untoward.
Yeah, she'll just make sure that she stays more in the cave.
Cool. Dustin, can you please roll a perception check for me, please?
That's a 12. Sorry if I double click.
That's alright. 11 or 12, either result. So, you finish your investigation, you're like, nothing here. And you leap off the edge and land feet first into the center of the pit. As soon as you land, bits of debris and dust rise from underneath you. Crumbling pieces of stone and everything. The floor of the pit is slightly soft, and you can notice that it's collected quite a bit of dust in it. And as soon as the dust slowly starts to settle, all of a sudden around you, 4 giant spiders emerge from the crevices and attack you around the pit.
Honestly, I don't know how I didn't see that coming.
I know, right? Right, let's do this.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Oh wait, spiders. Never mind.
It's spiders, don't worry.
Even worse.
Right, these... Roll a nature check for me.
Who, me or?
You. Right.
That's unfortunate.
That's pretty good, actually. You recognize them as they get their round of surprise attacking you. These are giant wolf spiders. You know their poison. Their bite is slightly poisonous.
Yep.
Right. The first spider leaps at you, and he rolls a 22. That was a natural 19.
That hits, yeah.
Okay, so you take 4 points of piercing damage, and I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
12.
That you pass. The second one moves in and gets a 15.
I have a 16 armor class, so that misses.
That misses. And as you see it miss, you notice some of the poison spittle dripping off its fangs as it passes you. The third one attacks you, and he gets a 9. And the fourth one attacks you, and he gets a 15.
This is a shamefully lucky round.
Wow. Right. Can everybody please roll initiative now?
Oh boy.
Yep.
Dustin is in panic. 6.
Apparently I heard something.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. Mind you, it is... you still get to add your dex modifier, don't you? And your...
Yeah. Bringing all together, I got a 7, so not bad.
Okay, so... Vargo, as you come walking out, you notice the spiders jumping through. Lunan, you hear the commotion. You're first. All you hear is a thump when Dusted lands, and then a, oh yay, spiders. And then you are at the top with a 20. It is your turn, Lunan.
So I heard it coming, probably the equal sound from both directions.
Correct.
Then I will just run 1, 2, 3. Do I see them from here?
Yes, you do.
I will try.
As you exit that little bend over there, you see Vargo standing slightly dumbstruck, not believing what he can see, and below you see 4 spiders surrounding Dusted. One of them has just sunk his teeth into his leg.
I will try to give that one a firebolt in its face.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh, that is a very good roll. Yeah, you definitely hit.
Yay. Oh, nice.
All right. Is that D10 any bonuses? Any extras?
No, it's a cantrip.
Okay. Right. The firebolt streaks towards the first one lying. It was the first one that attacked, so it'll be this one up here. Okay. And with that, you see the flames catch on the fur of the spider. He slightly shrieks, blood's pouring out of it. He looks definitely worse for wear and is bloodied 100%. Is that... You still got a bonus action or some movement if you want?
I think that's good for me.
Okay. Next up is Valrus.
I will. If I can get my sheet open. Being very slow.
And Yalena, you're after Valrus, by the way.
Okie dokie.
Dusted is back.
Yeah, for some reason it kept moving Lunan back and forth on the screen, and I was really confused by that.
Yeah, it's doing the same for me.
Now it did it for me as well.
Oh, Lunan's busy dancing in between the corridor.
Spiders!
Right, let's just have some accompanying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our things are taking ages to load anything, and it's being very laggy. I think Firefox is complaining at me.
Yes. Same for me.
Page.
I know what I want to do. Want to frost. Oh, actually, yeah, that's fine. Want to frostbite the one that's closest to me, since I can't move my camera too much.
Alright, he's literally 10 feet below you.
Yep.
Have you got physical dice you can roll? If you can't roll on the sheet? Or if you...
it's a con save.
Oh,
A
so
14
it's...
con save.
Sorry, that was a... What did you cast?
Frostbite.
Frostbite. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. So... Let's just send that to the game log. Yep, so you can cast at 60 foot, 14 constitution. Okay, and a d6 cold damage
Yes.
on a constitution saving throw. Right. And he gets a natural 2, so
Oh, okay.
roll your d6, sir.
I will attempt to do so. But it might be best if someone else rolls it, because it does not seem to be cooperating in the
Mhm.
slightest.
Elect
And
someone...
Oh,
I can roll,
Oh.
or someone did already.
No, it's popped up. And with a 4. Excellent.
okay. And then it has disadvantage, I believe, on its next attack.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay. Yarlena, it is your turn.
Mine's not loading, but I would like to do, I think, what is it, a frostbolt at the closest one that she can see.
Is that Frostbolt or Ray of Frost?
Ray of Frost, sorry. I can't see my sheet.
That's okay, I'm in it. So Ray of Frost is a +6 to hit, and it's a d8 if you hit.
Yeah. Don't know if I can... No, I can't even type in the chat box.
Valrus is back. Do you want to elect someone to roll, or do you want to...
Yeah, could you roll yours?
What am I rolling?
A d20 plus 6.
Yeah.
No, just roll a d20 and... Oh!
Okay. Unfortunately, that was a natural 1. A frigid
Oh
beam
my
of blue
God.
white light streaks towards the creature within range.
Never again.
From where you are, you have to shoot past Valrus if you're not moving, so I would say the far one. The bolt just streaks into the wall above the one directly opposite you at the far end of the cave. Anything else? Do you want to jump down? Do you want to move?
Yes. She will move. Is there a safe way of getting down without full on jumping?
No, but it is only 10 feet, so you won't take damage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she'll jump down to help Dustin call out.
Brave. Okay. Righto. Next up then, if you're done, it is Vargo. With the giants waiting. The giant wolf spiders waiting after Vargo.
Yeah, so I will just move and I will cast Bless on myself, Dusted, and Yerlena.
Okay. And that's your action. take that as a yes. Right.
Right there.
Excellent. So that'll be a D4 for Bless. Okay, the spider's turn then, and Dusted, the same one is going to go for you. It is the bloodied one.
The one to my north, yeah?
Yes. Alright, he rolls and he gets a natural 2. Next up then is the one to the west of you, and he's going to attack you again as well. And he rolls and he gets a 10. The one... I'm sorry, Dusted, they're all going to go for you.
Perfect. I mean, you want to hit me. Go ahead and hit me.
Alright.
It's a terrified cat dashing.
I rolled a 5, a 10, a 14, and a 7. All of the spiders seem to be regretting their life choices at this point. They can't hit a cat busy in the middle of their net. Right. Then next up is you, Dusted.
Yes, I am gonna strike the one to my north, the blooded one, to start with.
Okay.
Or try to, anyway. That would be a 12.
A 12 hits. And without even having to roll damage, you skewer just one little stab in the forehead through one of its eyes, and it falls over dead, being bloodied already.
Excellent.
It is dead, so let's see if that... Ooh. Next.
Yeah, I don't need to hit it again. Yeah, I'll hit something again. Yeah, excellent.
Bonus action?
No, I don't think this little scratch is meriting one.
Okay. Alright, in which case then we're at the beginning of round 2. Lunan, you're up.
Did I see any of the other spiders getting damaged?
You've... I'll say yes, you did. The one that's like 5 feet in front of you and 10 feet below you. So the one that is closest to Vargo and Velrus.
In that case, I would like to cast Toll the Dead on it.
Toll the
It's
Dead.
a wisdom DC 40 save.
I just remembered something. The spiders get a flank bonus, isn't that right?
They do. I think the 14
Would have hit, yeah.
would have hit, yes. I'll remember that for the next round. So I might have to give them a bonus. Right.
If they survive that.
Of course they'll survive.
Oh, you rolled a 5 on the save?
I rolled a 5. So is that
It's a 1d12.
12 necrotic damage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, roll your damage, and that's to the damaged one already. 11.
Jesus.
Wow.
Lunan is a murderer today.
Okay. Lunan, the necrotic damage blasts into the body of the spider as he's not even noticing it, and he rolls over, the legs quivering in the air as it curls up dead. You've still got movement or a bonus action?
Take a step forward, but that's about it.
Alright. Then next up is Velrus, followed by Yarlena.
I will hurl acid splash at the one that's closest to me, and try and target the one that's behind it as well, since it's 5 feet adjacent.
Okay, so the one that's in between Yarlena and Dusted.
Yes.
Alright.
It's Dex 14. I can roll myself now as well.
Acid Splash. So that is an automatic hit, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. Let me roll. And the spider fails.
Alright. I don't know if the second one gets save as well.
Let's double check. So if you choose to, they must be within 5 feet. A target must succeed. It says a target, so I assume both of them
Yeah.
get a dex save. Okay, and the second one rolls and gets a 14. So that is bang on the money.
Yeah.
So the one further away doesn't take damage, but the one closer
Takes 4
takes
damage.
4 points, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Alright, in which case then, Yelena, it passes to you.
Oh, and my sheet works properly now. She's gonna pull out her short sword and attack I think the one in front, between her and Dusted.
Mm-hmm, the damaged one.
Yeah.
Okay, brave. You pull out your short sword and you take
I
a
stab
swing.
him. It's a 23. I don't know if it's come through yet.
Good God, woman.
I was just about to say, remember flanking bonus, but that's probably redundant.
Yes. Okay.
Flanking bonus.
24.
Yes.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Oh,
Alright.
yeah.
So Velaris are not allowed to roll for Yelena.
No.
And 10 damage? That feels really weird.
Wow. D6 plus 5,
Oh
though.
yeah. Oh yeah, because I'm a paladin. I forgot. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you whip out your short sword, hack down, and you just manage to decapitate the head from the body. As the spider doesn't even get a chance to quiver, it just slumps over dead.
Hell yeah.
Anything else?
She'll shimmy on over to this one and just raise her sword frighteningly at the spider.
Alright. Roll an intimidation check.
Oh my god. I got a 1. That's terrible. That's a 7 total, but it's still a natural
A
1.
natural one. So you cleave the other spider in two, and then take one big step over to the other one. As you raise your sword, and it looks up at you, hisses at you, and lifts to its two front mandibles as if to say, "What the fuck are you gonna do?"
Damn, what a brave spider.
Fargo, over to you.
Looking at the last remaining spider,
Mm-hmm.
I just said, well, that was a waste of a spell, and I firebolt it.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, well, I need to wait for the rolls to come through. What did you roll to hit?
16, I think, and the damage was 8.
Okay.
Fire damage.
So, 16 definitely hits. It's well above his armor class. And then 8 or 5, did you say? 8 damage.
8.
Okay.
I think he said 8, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so
definitely.
too. Right, in which case it is bloodied. The flames lick across its body and its abdomen, and the hairs start to burn and frizzle. You can smell that acrid burning smell in the air. Dusted, it's right in your face. Vargo, are you using any of your movement?
No, I'm good for the turn.
Alright, so that's your turn. Over to the spider. and the spider doesn't pay any mind to this female woman with a tiny little pokey stick, but he's looking at the cat in front of him and he's like, I'm gonna sink my teeth into you, you bastard. And he leaps at you to go for a bite attack. And our roll is 16.
Which, if it beats, it hits, right?
Yep.
It's 16 and I have 16, so it will hit, I guess.
Okay, so he sinks his teeth into your thigh as he does 7 points of piercing damage to you. I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
That would be 18.
An 18, that definitely saves, as it pulls its mandibles out from around your leg, and you see the teeth retracting, the poison dripping off. Doesn't seem to affect you at all. That is its attack and its movement. Next up then is you, Dusted.
Well, I have something to say to this with my rapier.
Uh-huh. I don't know if you'll take a point.
That would be 19 to hit.
Yeah, you definitely hit him with a 19.
And damage is only 5, I'm afraid.
5 is exactly what is on. As you lunge forward with your rapier, you stab through, running the spider through the face. It looks surprised as it slowly starts to shiver and shrivel and falls over, dead. Right. That is the end of the combat. Congratulations, you have passed the perils of the pit.
Dusted is down to 19 hit points, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if it shows right now. I have actually calculated it, but I don't know if it shows on... It shows on my sheet, but not on the...
Yeah,
character.
no, it's 26 for
It
us.
says 26 on the... yeah.
Yeah, but I have edited it on the sheet. I don't know what else to do.
I'm sure it'll catch up soon. Looking around with the cave bathed in both torchlight and the light from Lunan's shield, you notice that the sides of the walls lower down towards the base of the pit have got crevices in where the spiders seem to have been squirreling themselves away. The bottom of the pit, now that you get a good look at it, is just covered and littered with debris. Small stones, lots of dust. Interestingly enough, there's no webbing down here at all. These spiders seem to make their homes inside crevices. 15 feet above you is a small corridor leading to what appears to be another chamber.
Is there any more down there?
Any more spiders?
Yeah, well, I'll
sorry,
ask
are you-
Yelena and Dusted. I
Yeah,
suppose.
sorry.
Dusted just takes a brief look around himself and notice that imminently there's no more spiders. And he just shrugs and says, no more spiders. And already has his eyes set on the next hurdle, not really caring about his wounds either.
In that case, Laris is going to also hop down into the pit,
Okay.
looking to hopefully climb up the other side.
Excellent. You hop down into the pit. You slowly see Azaka approaching into the cabin. It is all clear outside. They did not hear any of the noise from in here. Oh my. Oh look. It looks like you have accomplished this task. Hey. And with that, she also leaps down into the pit. I said the way forward is over there.
Dusted, you might want to take a seat in the middle. Let someone else go up front.
What are you talking about? Of course I'm going first.
says as he coughed blood in front of.
While they have that discussion, I do the very careful trying to climb down. You know, where you slowly kind of let you sink a bit at a time until you just hang by the fingertips, and before I let go.
Okay. You put your bottom onto over the
Parkour.
ledge and slide down slowly.
Yeah.
All of you are faced with a 15-foot smooth wall in front of you leading up to the ledge, which moves into the corridor ahead.
How big are the spiders? Would you be able to build a body ramp?
They're kind of soft and squishy. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
We can get in over each other's shoulders if necessary. I mean, I don't want to presume anything, but that's
What was that? I didn't hear.
Something that Dusted had to do. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
hello.
Now
Yeah,
we
no,
can hear.
we hear you.
Hello?
You disappeared on us. What did you say?
Oh,
Oh, it's gone.
Oh my god.
We lost Ray. There's
While
Ray.
I
Good.
wait for him to come back, I go up to Dusted and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. I'm pretty sure he will not say, "Don't touch me."
Wait, what?
Oh, that's
You can add 7.
Thank you.
Too
He
too
just
bad.
he just stands there and looks down himself. I don't think he's noticed he's been bitten.
Too bad your avatar just had updated.
Yeah. Dusted looks down and goes,
Yes.
"Butter scratch, my lord."
And with that, unless Vaco has any sort of like objections, Dusted is already about to climb up the cliff surface. But then ask, does anyone have a pitten?
I do. I pass it over to him.
Thank you. And then Dusted is then gonna try climb up the wall and try to look for somewhere to fasten it along with the rope.
Just one pitten?
I mean,
have 10 of them.
it's 10 feet.
It's 15 feet up.
Oh, it's 15.
It's
feet
not
up.
problem, guys. I have 10, so
Yeah, I bet borrow some more.
Okay. Roll an athletics check for me. And because you're using pittance, you have advantage.
17. Do I need to roll the next one as well?
No, I think that makes it. So, you get given a couple of pittons, you look at them in your hands, twiddle them around as if they're daggers, and stand there, and with a little jump, you leap and thunk them into the stonework. It bites, digs into the granite and the stone, and you manage to pull yourself up with one arm, slamming the next one in, reaching down into wherever you've stored the other ones, sticking it in, the rope tied around your waist. You manage to climb all the way to the top. Looking down, you've almost created like a ladder, using the pittance stuck into the wall. But still you stand at the top over there with the rope. Come on. Anyone want to climb?
I will climb.
Alright. You grab the rope, shimmy on up. I'm not going to make you roll an athletics check because there's plenty of you to help. Is anybody not going to climb?
No, I'm retrieving the pitons before climbing up.
Yeah, no problem. You tie the rope around your waist at the end and then pull out a couple as you go up, and you all make your way safely up to the top. As you enter the northern chamber, you notice that it is a small 15-foot wide, 10-foot long chamber. The ceiling here is less than 10 feet high. Reaching up, you can almost rub your hand along the stonework above you. And as you look up, you notice a 5-foot wide circular tunnel leading upwards into the dark. The tunnel appears rough-hewn, with numerous potential handholds. Let me just reveal the section for you. Oh, I'll even reveal that. There we go. As this small cavern is bathed in light, you can brightly see about 20 feet up into the shaft above you.
Any handholds or anything to climb on?
Yes, so looking up into the shaft, you can see there are a lot of gaps in the stonework where you could probably slip a hand in and use it to climb up. Alternatively, you could always jam a piton in there to help you climb and make your ascent easier.
Whoever goes first, carry a rope with them.
As he says that, I'm looking at Dusted.
Yeah, definitely.
Who is going to try climbing first?
I'll
can do it. You can do it, Dusted, and I will cast guidance on him.
Yarlena and Lunan still have Bless on them. How long does Bless last again? Is it
1 minute.
1 minute, but Bless doesn't help with ability checks, just saving throws and attack rolls.
Yeah, if it's been a minute, it's also probably run out by now. Okay. Right, so I hear Dusted has volunteered to go first. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, you tie the rope around yourself. Azaka steps forward and puts her hands together to give you a boost up. And waits.
Dustin is going to accept the help and try to scurry up as fast as he can.
Alright, you step forward, you put one foot in between her hands as she gives a little heave-ho and springs you up into the air. You leap up, and I need you to make an athletics check, please.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Before, does he have advantage because of the help?
What does guidance give you? The D4?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I was asking if
9.
maybe with Azaka's help, it may be self.
The DC was reduced with her help, down to 8. So with the D4 you rolled a 3, which means you get a 9. So, as she boosts you up, you lean forward to grab hold of one of the handholds. Your fingers slip, and as you're falling, your other hand, you manage just to grab the lip, and you pull yourself up, and slowly start climbing. Dustin, you've got dark vision, don't you?
I do. Yes.
Okay.
60 feet. Let me just confirm that.
Alright, so you slowly pull yourself up and you start climbing. The rope is how long? 60 feet.
Minus 50.
Yours is 50. You climb to 20 feet to where the lights, the torches from below, I'd say less than 20 feet, 15 feet, and you slowly hit the darkness. You pause, take a breath, wait for your dark vision to kick in, and you look up, and 15 feet into the shaft, looking up at 75, it still goes all the way on to the end of your vision. You take your time as you slowly climb another 15 feet, and about 85 feet high the shaft is. You can sort of see the air and a thickness above, which leads you to believe there is an opening 85 feet up. You climb a little bit more and then realize your rope is cutting short.
As soon as the rope is starting to disappear up, I tie on my end of the rope and try to make a extension of the rope.
So you're gonna stop, tie on your end of the rope to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your rope is also 50.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to think. Athletics. What would you roll to see if that is secure and tight?
Investigation to know that it's secure and tight, or
Would probably some dexterity.
Dexterity, maybe?
Let's just roll a dex check and let's see if you're dexterous enough to tie a secure enough knot.
Apparently.
Jesus Christ.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Why the?
no problem. Despite the blinding light coming off your shield, you could do this in your sleep, really.
Why do we roll so well in these unimportant rolls?
This is an important roll. I don't want the rope to break while climbing it.
So you
Fair enough.
You strength check it, and you're like, "Yep, it's all good to go," and give the thumbs up, regardless of whether Dustin can see you or not. And Dustin, you continue to climb. Slowly but surely, you eventually make it to the top of the dark passageway, and eventually your hands reach the lip of the shaft. You can feel the cold, flat stone underneath your palms, and climbing out with your dark vision, you can see that you're in a small chamber. It's about 10 feet by 10 feet. A small alcove leads south into another large chamber with a corridor that branches off to the east.
I would like to look around for a final place to put in the last pitten.
Okay.
To just secure the rope topside.
No problem. Let me... Right. So at the top of the map, I have measured out what you can see using your dark vision.
So I'm basically where the arrow is, I guess.
Yes, you just managed to pull yourself out. I would probably say the easiest place to pop the pitten is like directly into the wall right over there, where the little blue X is. Yeah.
I'll just go around to the spot then and try to put it in there.
Okay. How are you going to pop it in?
Let me just confirm if I have any kind of tool to do that. Yeah, this is going to be very improvised. shoving it, like trying to beat it in with a torch. Using it as an improvised hammer, I think is the best way I can do this.
So you're gonna use a torch as, let's say, a wooden mallet of sorts.
In a way, yeah.
Okay. I mean that'll work quite easily. Are you just gonna hammer away, or are you going to be careful about it?
It-
Try and be stealthy about it.
I am in a dark room. I'm basically 85 feet away from my allies. Yeah, I'll be stealthy about it, or try to be at least.
All right. I mean, you're rolling so well. Why don't you roll a stealth check for me?
Oh yes, let's go with that. That's either a critical or a 1. It's a critical 20.
It's a
Thank you.
critical, yeah.
So you get to the top. You look around. You're like, I mean, normally I wouldn't give a shit if I was up, out and about on my own. But given those spiders, so you start tapping with the torch, applying a bit more pressure and leaning into it a little bit as it goes thunk, thunk, thunk. By your own standards, you've done it supremely quietly. The piton drives into the cave wall, no problem, and is nicely secured. Who's up next?
Can I, can I actually communicate down there in a way? Drop something? Yeah, I'm gonna drop the torch down there as a signal that you can come up. I don't know how else to communicate with you guys without shouting down the
Okay.
corridor.
Can you roll it? Actually, no, Lunan, you the one that was tying the rope on, so I'm going to assume that you and Azaka are closest. I need you both to roll a dexterity saving throw as the torch comes plummeting down out of the darkness, please.
Sure thing.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's gonna be whap into her face.
Dusted, it's 85 feet. Can you please roll 7d6 for me?
Oh no!
As the torch comes plummeting out the darkness, she's busy looking around. She has no care in the world.
29.
And you're all
What?
standing around
No.
watching this torch as it just plummets out of the shaft and bang, smacks her in the back of the head. She looks up, rubs the back of her head, looks down, and she appears to shrug her shoulders, as if, okay, that could have hurt. Can you? And she looks up. Think you can be a bit more careful, or give us some warning? She whispers as quietly as she can up into the hole.
You okay?
Do we see more? Like, we only see, like you said, 20 feet up.
What?
But we know that the rope has stopped rising.
Yes. Are you? Yeah. What are you looking for?
No, I was just wondering if I could message him, but I don't think I can.
Okay.
Or no, I can. Yeah, I thought it needed vision, but it doesn't say. You point your finger towards the creature within range and whisper a message.
What's the range?
120 feet.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can point your finger up the shaft.
You're right up there? I point and whisper.
Am I allowed to answer the message? I forget.
So,
Yeah.
Dusted, as you are looking down into the shaft, you're thinking to yourself, look out below, and you see the torch from where you are, because below is bathed in light, you notice Azaka kind of stumble as she gets hit by the torch in the back of the head. You cringe a little bit, and all is quiet. And for the first time in your life, you can hear Lunan's voice in your head. And there's a whisper, and it says, "Lunan."
You're right up there?
Dusted confused looks around, like if Lumen has already made it up here without him noticing.
Mm.
But he's alone in the room. So for a moment before answering, it's sort of very vague, like, yes, I'm all right. Where are you?
We're still down there. Is it safe to climb up?
Yes, it's safe to climb up.
Then we'll start climbing. And
Okay.
to the others, I say, it's safe to go.
I nod.
All right. Who's going first?
I pointed. Jerlena, would you like to go?
Sure, I don't mind. She will just carefully start making her way.
So you slowly saunter over to
I cast
the
guidance
rope.
on her.
All right. You cast guidance on her. Lunan, you get a really weird message that hits you in the head. That's the Dustin's voice again. He's like, "For the record, if I end up with a torch stuck up my ass by the end of this, I can only say I regret my life decisions." As you're directing Yarlena up the rope. Yarlena, why don't you roll an athletics check for me, please? Yeah.
The guidance is it D4?
Yeah. All right. So a 14 altogether. Grabbing hold of the rope, you test the strength, and using your paladin prowess, you manage to pull yourself up without a boost from anybody at all. You slowly heave yourself up. As you pass the light from below you, you see the shaft rising out of your range. Eventually, as you ascend 20 feet, you can see Dusted Cole, the outlines of his cat-like feline face looking down, peering at you from the hole. A little wave as you slowly ascend up. Who's next?
I will try. I'm gonna stretch a bit and then attempt to climb up.
Alright, can you roll an athletics check for me, please?
I will give him a boost, and as I do, I give him guidance as well, if they don't overlap.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if you know he
1d4.
needs a boost, because he's going to roll poorly, but he actually manages to roll quite well. Valrus, being inspired by Yarlena in front of you, you grab tight grip, bend your horns to the task, and pull yourself all the way up as you follow in Yarlena's wake. Who's next?
I will do.
What are you going to do with your torch, Fargo?
I think I'm gonna light it down. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Do that light thing.
I
It's
can
good
cast
point.
light on the put out torch, so he has. Or do you have any jewelry or something that hangs on your body?
You can light my cape if you want.
Oh, wow.
Sure. I like his cape.
Okay. So you douse the torch out. Lunan casts light on your cape. And you begin to climb. Can you please roll an athletics check for
Fancy.
me?
I will say, can do this and guide myself in this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
Good job. Nice one. All right. So, putting your mind to the task ahead, you manage to grab hold of the rope and all of that warrior training that you've done. Battle-hardened mage as you are, you pull yourself up and you ascend quite easily up the shaft. Right, Lunan, it's just you and Azaka down here. Can you roll a perception check for me, please?
Sure.
Um,
Do you need it to be at disadvantage due to darkness?
no. Your shield is giving off light as it is.
Not anymore.
Have you? But you can see in the dark.
I have dark vision, but that means I see it as if it's dim light.
That's fine. But you've also got a cloak which is slowly going up into the shaft, spilling light down below you.
Yeah.
So technically, it's still quite bright. But what you do notice is that Azaka is kind of toying with her fingers, shuffling her feet, generally looking quite nervous, as if she doesn't really want to climb.
You want to go next?
I, it seems very far going up over there. I don't know if it's a good idea for me. Is there no other way that we can get up, or maybe I can go last and you can pull me up?
Sure, we could tie the rope around your waist and pull you up.
Okay, and she holds her arms up straight away.
If there's still some slack in the rope, I will use it to tie her off.
Yes, there is about 10 feet of slack, actually. Okay, so she then cups her hands together to give you a boost to go up. And she...
I guide myself.
Okay, and just... if you're ready to pull me up, you can throw another torch at me, yeah. Okay. And
It's alright.
And she gives you a boost. Roll an athletics check for me, please.
Here we go.
Oh, nice. You're rolling good, aren't you? Heck.
I'm rolling like I don't know what today.
So
18.
the shaft is no problem. You've had a gander up there, watched everyone else climbing quite easily, confident that you can do the same job. You scamper all the way up.
And I'm collecting the pittons on the way up.
Okay. So you collect a couple of pittons as you pass on the way up. Looking down, you can still see Azaka on the bottom, still shuffling a little bit nervously, but holding on to the rope. She's wrapped it around her forearm as well, so it's like double secure, and she's waiting. Eventually, you make it to the top of the shaft. Let's just move Valris, Yalena, and you. Alright.
And I ask when I come up, could you help pull her up? I will message down to her. Are you ready? With message bell.
Oh. Yes. Yeah.
And we will start pulling.
Alright, who's we?
Yalena will help.
Dustin probably need to help as well, yeah.
So...
yeah, we all do.
Okay, so all of you do, in which case then I won't need to ask you to roll strength checks. As you slowly start pulling up on the rope, heaving and pulling all the way up. It's good, strong work. She's surprisingly heavier than she looks, but then she is about 6 foot something. Eventually you manage to pull her all the way up to the top. And as she reaches on the lips, you can see like her nails are digging into the cave floor as she's scrabbling to get up, and she's sweating quite profusely as if this was an arduous task for her. She slumps on the ground. Oh, I tell you what, after living in the jungle, these small things, small caverns, and it is not good for a peasant's heart, I just,
And for the record, Valrus is also sweating and slumps on the floor after that.
Not surprisingly. Okay. The chamber around you is once again hewn rough stone, almost natural. There is a small chamber in front of you as well, of equal size. You're standing around the hole, and Vargo's coat, his cloak, is blazing with bright light, giving off light into every nook and cranny around here. As you look southwards, you can see a corridor branching off to the east, and nothing else appears of interest.
We should keep an eye out for those spiders. In case there are more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should. Did anyone notice how tall this tower was roughly?
Out of breath already? You need to get out more.
Maybe we're halfway if we're lucky.
You need to hold your tongue.
I mean, does anyone... Yeah. No. It doesn't... We won't know how far up we are just standing here, so let's keep moving.
You could roll an intelligence check if you wanted.
Yeah, I was about to ask that, but then I realized Dustin doesn't care.
Valrus could.
Well, you will attempt to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Just a regular intelligence?
Yep. Counting out the amount of feet and the strain that you've put in, give or take, you'd say you're about 160 foot above the ground now.
Mm-hmm.
You've come quite a way so far.
Well, let's go then. And he gets up and slowly inches towards
Okay.
the passage.
So, Valrus in the lead, closely followed by Dusted Cole. You move towards the passageway, you take a look down, and the corridor leads away for 15 feet from where you're standing, and then splits northwards and southwards.
Decisions.
Lunan, are you maintaining concentration in your light spell?
No, I don't need to focus on it.
Alright, so my cape is light right now. It's lit.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
In that case, I will put my shield up again.
Are you gonna draw your shield?
Yeah, if I don't need
You don't need to hold
the torch, I will do it.
Correct, yeah. So your cape automatically gives off a bright light. So everyone is bathed in bright light at the moment. No need for holding a torch at all.
If you wish, I say, and touch his shield, we can make this light instead, and I light up his shield instead, so it's not aimed towards us, but forward.
Okay.
Alright.
Let me just double check the light spell. How long does it...
It's 1 hour without concentration. But as soon as you cast one, the last one disappears, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds about right.
The spell ends if you cast it again or dismiss it as an action. That's right. So if you can dismiss it yourself. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's an action, so.
And only one can be up at a time, so no problem. Okay, so Vargo, he comes over and casts light onto your shield instead. And now you've got light bathing out in front of you.
Thank you very much.
Right. So the 6 of you are crowded around a small corridor. 15 feet ahead of you, it branches north and south.
Would you mind if I go take a look?
Be my guest.
So Busted shimmers through past Valrus and tries to get to the edge of here and sort of like try to look around the corners of these corners. First on the right side, then on the left.
Okay. You peer around both of the corners. Northwards is a large chamber. It looks about 15 feet square. Southwards, the corridor continues for about 20 feet, and beyond you can see the night sky. Let me first unveil the fog.
Well, from what I can see, we have a chance at peering out to the right, and north we have an empty chamber. That's just initial
Can you...
reconnaissance.
So as you relay your message backwards, can you roll a perception check for me, please, Dusted?
More spiders, yay! 11.
You take a look southwards and you can see the tips of a ladder protruding from the edge of the outside, and as you look northwards, slumped against the far north wall in the dim light, you can see a dissected corpse. A familiar glint of gold and gems appears to shine through the tattered clothes hanging off the corpse.
Shiny! I got you there before. Got there before you, Margot.
Yeah, you did.
Busted is gonna sort of like beckon people, and then I'm sorry, guys. I really am, but I have to do this absent-minded. I have to do this absent-minded kitty walk towards the shinies.
The light is gleaming and it almost seems to sparkle and tinkle as you make your way closer. Are you moving stealthily, or are you just running in there to grab the shinies?
I think that with at least with the understanding of that the spiders were there last time, he's trying to do it stealthily, but again, it is just a normal walk.
So do you want to roll a stealth check or not?
I don't think he would stealth in this situation. No.
Alright, the glint seems to be too good to be true. As you slowly make your way forward, you get to the dissected corpse. Can you roll an investigation check with advantage for me, please?
Oh yeah, that's bad. 3. It was almost a 20, damn it.
Wow. Just by peering, yeah, you don't notice anything else about the clothes, whether it's wearing shoes or carrying a backpack. You're only fixated on the glinting shinies in the light being shed from the corridor behind you as you slowly make your way towards the corpse and you look down at it. What you do notice, though, is that it has been cut to ribbons. You actually cannot make out any race or gender. There are deep gashes as if it's been cut with 1,000 cuts. If any of you follow the Japanese tradition. What's everyone else doing?
Surveying the outside.
You're hovering on the outside, looking in. Vargo? Anyone else? Yelena, what are you up to?
She's just gonna make her way down a bit. Oh, did move. Oh boy.
And Lunan, where are you going?
I will take a look here, just keeping an eye towards, so we don't get attacked from behind by terrafolk and stuff like that from the sky.
Okay, so as you all slowly move closer towards there, standing at the edge, are any of you moving stealthily?
Probably attempting to...
With the light? No.
Okay, so trying to be stealthy but just slowly moving forward. And Vargo, you're staying where you are, yeah?
Until Azaka pass by, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Azaka seems to be using you as cover in case anything bad happens.
Alright, I understand.
Seeing as you've got a shield, she's standing...
I go.
Okay, so you move closer. Dusted... you can slowly hear the footsteps behind you as the party comes closer to you, knowing that you've got some support behind you. You slowly settle on the corpse in front of you. What do you do?
Dustin is gonna reach a clawed hand down towards one of the gemstones and try to almost pluck it out of the corpse.
Okay. As you're looking down, if you can imagine, it looks like a dead explorer. He's almost... The clothes have been torn to shreds. It's like he's wearing a waistcoat. On his body, one of the sides of the shirt that's been torn open, that looks like the waistcoat, you can see a glint coming from within some of the tears. You're literally going to have to reach in and gently tug some of the cotton and the clothing out of the gaping wounds in order to see where these treasures are hidden underneath him.
Yeah, so that requires, despite Dustin's sort of like reckless behavior, he's still gonna try to almost act as if this is surgical precision, like he's actually a physician cutting someone open and trying to reach in for it. But he will reach in for it, just trying to cut his way with his claws because they are slashing based, and try to sort of cut his way into the individual and grab it.
Okay, in which case, if you're going to be going for surgical precision, let's go for a dex check of some sort, shall we?
Sleight of hand?
Yeah, I was thinking sleight
Sleight
of
of
hand as
hand,
well.
maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, let's roll.
Oh,
sleight.
thank you, 19. That suddenly became a 1.
I'm still waiting for it to load.
Yeah, it's a 5. It's gonna be a 5. I'm pretty sure. It for some reason just messed up my sheet because you were looking at it and then it returned me to the D&D Beyond page and then back to my sheet. So I don't know if it will load properly, but it was a 1.
Ooh, a natural one. as Dastard's open hand starts to open and close with slight nervousness, he leans forward, the drool dripping off his whiskers, the claws shaking with anticipation, and he pulls some of the clothing aside and it tears under his claws. You reach in over there and the clothing, the blood is dried and crusted over the clothing, and in fact you're just too eager to get it off, so you just yank and tear, and as you do, the coin purse that's been shining through, slightly split open, spills out in between the corpse's legs in front. 15 gold pieces spill out onto the floor in front of you, and as they do, you can see the corpse on his hand has got a ring. It's described as a carnelian ring. There is also a small belt with a pouch slashed where you can see a glint of gems poking through. And as you move your other hand over and you use the claws to kind of open the pouch, inside you can see 2 small hand-carved figurines made of onyx, as well as a shiny green gem.
Carnelian ring, onyx figurines, green gem, and... Sorry, I'm trying to write it down all of it.
15 gold pieces. So the
Bastard is gonna collect it in... let me see what options I have. I think I only have a backpack. And then... He's also going to notify the others that, hey guys, I found something shiny. So he's not he's not keeping this a very good secret if it is.
Okay, you turn around. Hey guys, I found something shiny. And you turn around. Do you hold up your findings to them?
I have to ask one thing. Is the onyx... And you know what I'm going to ask probably. Is the onyx figurines anything cat related?
Let me... So... I want to see if I can find a picture for you of what they look like. I'll send that to the game log. So, each of the figurines, they are small little sprites. As you take a look at them, you roll a history check for me.
That would be a 13.
Somehow you can't remember why, but all of a sudden they strike you. These figurines are of Chwinga, which are the small sprites from the gods of the jungles of Chult that are sent to aid travelers and explorers and help people. I suppose like the Fae, sort of pixies or fairies. They're the same things.
Fascinating. But then he is definitely going to show everything to people. Once he is taken, he doesn't start picking up the coins just yet. He's more interested in the items themselves.
Okay.
But he will definitely pick up the coins afterwards.
All right. So, you scrabble through the dead explorer's clothing and tear apart accidentally some things. The coins spill out and you start picking them up as you turn around, holding out the figurines and the gems and going, hey guys, I found something here. And as you're about to make your way back, I need everyone to roll initiative, please.
Wait, what? Who's attacking?
We'll see.
I have a 20.
Is it gonna be a
24.
skeleton attacking?
It looks like vampire bats, like in human form from here.
All of a sudden, as you raise your voice and tell them all to come to see what you found, the roof sort of comes alive around you, and these small bird-like creatures with long beaks dive down to attack. Where is the... There it is. Okay.
You. They look gross.
They look like sturges or something like that.
And we will take our break there.
All right.
Oh boy, we get to wait a little bit longer to see you get eaten.
I apologize again in advance for all the shenanigans.
You know what they say, curiosity killed the cat.
That's what you get for desecrating a corpse.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
Right. Fortunately, Dusted, you're going to be at the top of the order, but let's take a 15 minutes. So,
Yeah.
it's 10 past. We'll get back at 25 past.
Sounds good.
Just in time to see Dusted get pecked to death.
Perfect.
Alright. Right, welcome back everybody. So, where last we left off, you've successfully made it up to the second portion of the tower. Our young feline friend over here managed to see some shinies. Running into the cave, grabbing all the shinies, turning around, announcing what he'd found to you, and small winged beasts dropped from the ceiling and attacked, and we're now in the middle of combat. Alright. It is Dusted Coal up first.
These creatures are still stuck to the ceiling, or are they within 5 feet reach?
Well, they've dropped and attacked, so I'll say they're within reach.
Excellent. Gonna use an action to equip my shield.
Mm-hmm.
And then quickly gonna use action surge to actually get an attack on one of these things.
Okay.
With the rapier.
Right. As it comes darting down towards you, you just do a little jab up to try and skewer the thing.
Yeah.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Oh, sorry, I clicked prematurely. 22.
That definitely hits.
With a damage of 9.
Any particular one that you want to skewer?
Can I skewer the one just southwest of me so I have a space to stand on?
That one there. Yes. Right, well you managed to skewer the thing. I'm going to delete the token then, and you kill him outright. No problem. Is that your turn?
Yes, that's my turn.
Alright, then next up is Yelena, closely followed by Valrus.
She's gonna cast a green flame blade.
Oh, okay.
And she'll hit. Hold on, I'm trying to close my sheet so I can see them. Oh, I think it's frozen again. Oh boy. Yeah, she's gonna just hit the one in front of her, and then the flame from the green flame blade will jump to the from this one. Oops.
We'll
Oh,
jump
it's a
to the
double click,
right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
To the right. Yeah. I can't remember exactly how much damage. I think it was just 1d8.
I think it's a D8 at this stage, yes.
Plus your spell casting
The
ability.
modifier, I think.
Yeah. So, well, I'll do the attack
I
first
think
because I
it's-
might even miss.
Yeah.
Does that hit?
What did you roll? What did you roll?
A 13.
A 13 is a miss, unfortunately.
God damn.
They,
I had a feeling.
unfortunately, they are quite small and difficult to hit.
Ah, okay.
Yes. And just to confirm, of course, green flame blade only fires off if you hit. Is that
I think so. Yeah. I think it only on a hit, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to move, or are you happy where you are?
Can
I raise a point?
Mm,
Is this creature she's attacking flanked by me?
no. Well,
Okay.
no. I'm going to say no for now, because they're still dive bombing.
Excellent.
I'll probably just. I don't think there's really anywhere I can go. I'm just seeing if there's a. No, there's nothing else that I can do. I was hoping that something might be a bonus action that's going to be useful for everyone, but nah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
In which case, Valrus, it is your turn. Just
Mhm.
one point to note. Bear in mind, these creatures are like less than a foot big, so
Oh my god.
they do not take up an entire square. If you want to move
Oh.
into the room, there is space. They're flying, so think
Oh,
of the
okay.
space as a three-dimensional space.
I'll shift off a bit then.
Well, Valorous would like to look upwards to where they are, and
Oh, all of a sudden I see a cone.
I don't, unfortunately. But I'd like to use burning hands and flame them as they fly downwards, if possible. Oh, I
Okay,
do see it, but I can't seem to rotate it. I don't know how to.
I've done it.
Yep.
Can you see
Okay.
my rotation?
Yes, I do.
Right, so you've just had Yolena move in front of you. So are you going to...
I would try and sort of aim it above her, if possible, and sort of, I don't know, over her shoulder or something.
Okay. Can you see the burning hands that I've moved already?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, you move it the way you want, but that looks like it might catch dusted. But then, mind you, you're aiming upwards, so
Yes.
you will catch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, without the 2 on either flank.
Mhm.
Happy with that?
Yes, I am happy with that.
Okay, and then Burning Hands is auto, no roll to hit, so they just need to roll a... Is it Dex? It's a dexterity save.
Yes.
And 3d6 damage. Okay, I am going to roll as a group for all of them, as they're dive bombing at the same time. Is rolling not loading?
Not at the moment, if you have sent anything.
It looks like it pops up and then disappears on my screen.
Yeah.
Did I make it on time?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, Dustin is about to get roasted. Just
Aris is casting Burning Hands and we're waiting for the save.
Yeah, okay, hold on, I need to get my dice tray then, because it's not rolling at all for me. And I rolled an 18. Plus 3,
that's
so
a shame.
21. So they take half damage, don't they?
Mhm.
So, monsters roll 18 plus 3. You can roll your 3d6 damage.
he already did 9 damage, apparently.
Okay. So, Valrus, you go moving in towards the room, strategically placing your hands just above Yarlena as you let go of Burning Hands. And this flash of flame lights up the cavern. and all you hear as the flame passes through to the other end are screams of these little vampire birds. Can I just do... No, I can't. As you manage to kill all of them in your path. I'm just going to delete.
Oh my god.
Would you like me
Wait,
to roll
but
dex
didn't
as
they
well?
make the saving throw?
They did make their save, and they took 9 points of damage each.
Oh no, they took 4 points of damage.
4.
But yeah.
Yep, they still die.
Did you want me to roll dex as well? I didn't really catch that.
No, because he's angled it upwards to catch them as they're dive bombing, so you're safe.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure I wasn't dodging damage that I had to take.
No, for now you're safe, Dusted. Only the monsters are after you. For now. Okay. Then, after Valrus is Vargo.
Well, considering there was the screams as well, I would like to inch past Lunan and sort of have a look outside, see if anyone heard.
Okay, so you're going to use your movement to move closer towards the cave. As Vargo moves past you and moves closer, you notice the light from his cape spilling out into the night sky, washing over the ladder and the ledge that is below you over there.
Lunan, I mean, Vargo! And I motion to go back.
Vargo, it is your turn.
All right. From there, do I see anyone?
Yeah, I'll say you can see the one little beastie in the corner. In the south corner. That one here. As he's swooping down, dive bombing towards the Olena.
I will put up a hand. You hear the sound of a bell and just cast Toll the Dead in this fucker.
Okay. No problemo.
So it's a wisdom saving throw for 5 damage.
Wisdom save for 5 damage. Oh. I'm going to roll for this because my D&D Beyond seems to have frozen. And I rolled a 6. That's a fail. Alright, and with a small scream, the other one dies as well. Before Lunan's turn, then my little beastie. Wow, there really is a problem with tonight, isn't there? Alright, anyway. As the small little flying beast Dusted comes dive bombing down towards you, he makes a melee attack, and I'm gonna have to roll like 13 plus 5. I get an 18.
That's just beating my AC. Damn it.
Okay, you take piercing damage, 7 points of piercing damage, and as it hits you in between the neck and the shoulder, the long pointed beak pierces into your skin. The 4 claws attach onto your body, and as it leans forward, you can almost feel it start to suck the blood out from inside your body. That brings us up to Lunan.
When I see this creature do this, I will just, if I have a clear line of sight on it, cast Firebolt from where I take a step forward and cast Firebolt on it.
Okay. I'm going to, given it's perched on Dusted's, between his neck and shoulder, I'm going to say he's got 3/4 cover.
Sure.
Dusted, what's your armor class?
18.
18. So if you... Okay, off you go, Lunan. Firing into combat.
There we go.
God, I haven't rolled real dice for ages.
15.
Alright, 15 misses both.
Okay.
As the firebolt flies wide, it smacks into the cavern wall behind. Do you need to move? Do you want to do anything else?
No, I will just stay in this region.
Okay, then we find ourselves back to the top of the round. Dustin, it's your turn.
Dustin at this point has thrown his rapier as a free action on the ground
Mm-hmm.
and tries to attack it with his claws.
Okay.
Since it's sitting on his face, literally.
Yeah, just perched on your neck, really. So go ahead. I'm going to I'm going to call it prone, so he doesn't get his dexterity modifier. So you need an 11 to hit.
Yeah, but that is still a 6 I just rolled, so that doesn't work.
Okay, so you don't manage to claw him off at all.
No.
Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to roll my second win. If I remember correct, it's a D10 plus my class levels. That's 5.
Damage.
No, restore to myself.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. You blanked out for a second. So yes,
No, I mean, I'm using second wind to heal myself.
yes, no problem. All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I have nothing more.
Oh, damn it! I just wasted a nat 20 just by practice rolling. Yarlena, it is your turn with Valrus waiting in the wings.
Yeah, there's only one alive, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah, stuck to my face.
Yeah, it is
Oh.
currently sunk its beak into his flesh.
Can she still come in and stab it without hurting Dusted Cole?
I mean, he's flailing around with this thing on his face, so the rules of trying to hit it is still the same. That it is partially covered by Dusted. Yeah.
With the dangers of
I mean, to be
snapping
fair, I think you can do
miniatures.
it.
You can. Don't forget that he will get additional cover to his armor class. But you can go ahead.
Oh boy. Yeah, she's just because I don't want to try pulling it off because that might make it worse. So yeah, she's gonna try and stab it, and she'll do her best to not hurt Dusted Cole.
Go for a straight
Okay.
cleave from up to bottom of the floor.
So,
18.
wow. What is partial cover? 3/4 cover? Is it +5?
I believe
Plus
so.
5.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's got an armor class of 14 plus 5 is a 19. However, Dusted's armor class is 18. So
Yes.
you only just miss the little beastie and your sword cleaves into Dusted Cole instead.
Oh, that's perfect.
Wait, isn't it on top of him? I'm confused. Or is it buried?
It's
It's buried into his neck.
Oh, I thought they weren't that small. I thought like its face was in your neck.
No. They're a tiny creature. They're a tiny creature. If this is what I think it is, yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh, if I'd realised, I wouldn't have tried stabbing it. I thought they were.
It's a horrid, tiny
gremlin
creature
sized.
that looks like a cross between a bat and an oversized mosquito. Its legs end in sharp pincers, and it's got a long, needle-like proboscis.
Wait, how big is it?
It is about a foot big, maybe smaller.
Oh, okay.
So it's a large mosquito-like creature.
Yeah, it's like a vampire bat mosquito. And it's now sunk its beak an inch deep into Dusted's neck. And it is visibly sucking the blood from his carotid artery as it's feeding itself. Its belly is slowly growing bigger. And Yarlena has just aided in the deduction of blood from Dusted's veins and arteries.
Could you roll damage, please, so I can add it?
Okay. God.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. I didn't think it was
I mean,
small.
it is Jalena attacking me, so I would never I wouldn't have accepted lower than that.
Well, let's just say you're lucky she didn't cleave you with a nat 20.
Yeah, that's true.
Then again, that would have hit the actual bat.
This little vampire bat comes diving off the ceiling and embeds its face into Dusted Cold's carotid artery around the neck, and the paladin goes, I don't think I'm going to spend my action pulling it off him. I'm going to rather attack it.
It's safer that way.
It's safer that way.
She is a little bit dumb. It's fine.
You know what, Yelena, have some inspiration.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean, Stefan?
Anything can be fixed with a sharp edge.
It basically must be Jalena going like, this is actually karma for the torch you threw down.
Probably, eh? Right, is that your turn, Yelena?
Yeah, then when she realizes what she's done, she's gonna prepare to try and then pull it off next time.
Alright.
Realizing that stabbing is not working.
In which case, next up is Valrus.
Gonna turn around, give a deep sigh and say, careful, and attempt to turn the bat thing into an icicle with frostbite.
Ooh, okay.
It's a DC 14 con save.
Is it an auto hit?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Finally, someone with some sense. Why the two fighters is just flailing at it.
Oh, if I'd had more sense, I should have used Green Flame Blade.
How?
Then.
No, because it would have hit a creature within 5 feet of it. What's the only thing in 5 feet of it?
But she hit
I
you.
aimed for you.
Hold still, Dusted.
Like, she just have to hit Dusted, and then the creature dies.
Hell yeah.
Right.
I forgot to put the / in there, sorry. / roll 1d20.
Shame.
Did it work? 17.
Yeah.
Alright, so he saves, yes?
Yes.
This is poetic justice. Jesus Christ.
So no damage, no nothing.
Yep.
Alright then. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Alright, in which case, next up is Vargo. Vargo goes at the same time as this little creature. What are you going to do, Vargo?
I'm just going to poke my head and again cast all the dead in this thing. So wisdom saving throw.
Poking your head around the side. Right, so wisdom saving throw. Ooh.
So yeah, only 3 damage.
3 damage, okay. And Toll the Dead goes off as all of a sudden the thing bursts and explodes into a puff of blood and scum and flesh, but not before, Dusted, you take another 5 points of damage.
My god, Dusted, you're bad.
He's not having a good day.
No.
Karmic justice.
Are you in need of any healing?
Oh, that's That's a good question, isn't it?
At this point, Buster is mainly trying to get all the blood off him from these creatures because, I mean, it had drank its fill probably, so it's like splatting a giant mosquito in your face.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
So Dustin is a little disoriented by the loss of blood that he just lost from this thing. So he doesn't answer straight right away. Just stands there, sort of like in a daze.
Noonan is a bit worried about the light escaping, so he ends that spell.
Okay. And as you end the spell, the cavern plunges itself into darkness once again. The let me just drop the aura. Vargo, all of a sudden, as you've moved to the back of the cavern, you can see starlight shining through from the exit onto the ledge. It isn't pitch black, but everyone else, your dark vision slowly starts to kick in. Do you look around, and there isn't much else inside the bare cavern except for obviously the remains of the corpse that's lying on the ground.
Are you talking about Dusted Cove?
Everybody in
Har
general.
har har.
Yeah.
I will just put a hand on my shield and use make one use of magical tinkering, so it sheds 5 feet and it sets bright light in a 5 foot radius.
You're going to create a small 5 foot radius light.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to call that a candle. Is it just 5 foot? Or is it 5 bright, 5 dark?
I think it's only 5 foot. Yeah.
Alright, so let's go 2.5.
I'm trying to send the feature to the game log, but it doesn't work. Oh yeah, so 5 feet radius from dim light and an additional, bright light 5 foot and an additional 5 feet of dim light. Correct.
Yeah, so it works like a candle. Yeah. 10 feet. Okay.
While he's doing that, Yelena's just gonna very sheepishly touch Dustin Cole and heal him for 5 points.
Ooh.
And Dustin is gonna consume a healing potion, which heals me.
Feeling guilty, huh?
Which heals me for 10 because I don't have to roll for it.
Correct. So you heal the maximum.
No, 15. 5 from Delena and 10 for myself.
Yes. Don't forget to mark your healing potion off.
Oh, don't worry, I will. I have 2, so I've lost 1.
Okay. Right. Having just killed...
I will throw
Mm-hmm.
I will throw another cure wounds on you.
Are we just waiting for the roll? There it comes.
Nope, it doesn't. Well, anyway.
Yep, oh, did you...
Did you write it?
Yeah, there you go. And so it will be 6 plus 4, so 10 hit points.
Yep. I do the same mistake. I forget to put the / in front of the roll. Dusted grimaces at the taste of the potion, as it and the healing he receives closes the wound in his neck. Yes, the dried blood is a safe reminder of what happens when the cat gets curious. Right, where to next?
We should continue heading up. Hopefully there are no more little whatever they were.
I'd like to stealth.
But there is no end here, so I guess we have to, I don't know, go outside?
I stealth to the mouth of the cave and do a perception check of the sky for terrafolk.
Okay, roll a stealth check and a perception check for me, please.
Since we moved a little bit away from the... can I just stack the items for now in the backpack?
You can. Are you asking me or the team?
No, because it just seems like we our attention shifted so quickly that Dustin has forgotten about it, so just put it down there.
Alright. Safely stowing the golden jewels and the ring into your pack. You watch as Lunan miserably stealths towards the edge of the ledge and has a look around. Lunan, as you step out onto the ledge, you can see the canopy of the jungle stretching out into the distance. You are 160 feet above the grounds, and the winds up here are stronger. Out in the open, they're stronger than anything that you may have anticipated. The ledge itself is 2 foot wide. As you look up, you can make out the outline of terrafolk flying around the tower tops, patrolling as they pass the moon and the stars beyond. They are partially bathed in light as the flame from the top of the tower glints off their leathery hide. Below, bathed in the darkness, they haven't spotted you. Yet. Directly below you in front is the rotted ladder leading down. As you look down, you can see that the ladder descends for 50 feet and then ends abruptly. The ledge either side of you spreads out, east and west. How do you proceed?
Now, when I know the terrafolk is not coming, I'm going in and taking a look that everything is fine inside. And
So you turn around and relay the information to your colleagues?
yeah.
Okay.
And so, what's next?
Looks like we'll have to shimmy from the outside. Is Vargo gonna be alright in the dark?
Yeah, I'm sorry for being an annoyance, but maybe if I tie myself to two of you, it will be safer.
Might be best.
Azaka walks over and puts a hand on your shoulder and nods and... Hey, it is okay, you know. You are only a human. Okay. I can tie you to me as well, so we have got more than one person.
Much appreciated. Thank you, Azaka.
She proceeds to take the end of the rope and tie it around her and triple knotted and twice around the loop and snuggles up quite close to you.
So, are we ready to go, or do we need a rest in here?
We probably don't have time to rest. You want me to scale it first?
If you feel up for it.
Sure, what are giant mosquitoes? Probably aren't many of them out here. It's probably safer out here anyway. So Dustin is going to try this time to actually be a little bit stealthy and try to shimmer up to the edge.
Okay.
Leading west.
Alright. Roll your stealth check for me, please.
I would like a good roll now. Yeah, 21. Thank God.
Wow, nicely. So, tiptoeing gently around the ledge, you hug the wall of the spire. As you skirt the ledge westwards, I need you to roll a d6 for me, please.
Yeah, I have trouble rolling as well. Let's see if I can roll a d6 with any of my... Nope. Okay, there we go. 3.
Yep, a 3. Okay. You slowly move along the ledge, clinging to the face of the stone. All of a sudden, a gust of wind sweeps up from underneath you, blowing against your face, threatening to push you further off the ledge. But your claws grip onto the sides of the stone as you lean slightly back into it, and you take smaller steps. You manage to get to the corner. As you peer towards the north, you can see about 30 feet in the distance a ladder leading upwards. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna try to wait for a moment until the... Is the wind constant or was it a gust of wind?
The wind is constantly blowing, but in this instance it was quite a strong gust of wind.
Yeah, Dustin is gonna try to call out to Valvis to be careful. Be careful of the updraft.
Alright.
There's a ladder on this side. I should probably add as well. There's a ladder on this side. And then he's gonna... yeah, again, I kind of forgot that we should probably have made a rope connection here that people could cling on to. I have to go back, I think.
Okay, so you're going to skirt all the way back to where Valrys is.
Dustin is returning.
Okay. Dusted returns all the way back, Valrys, and you're surprised to see the cat appear next to you. Oh.
We have a ledge, or sorry, a staircase we can climb up on the northern side, the western side. But I probably need some pittance to be sure that we can make it over there.
So there's them now.
Was it Lunan or was it Vargo that picked them up as they ascended?
I have some.
Lunan collected them.
I wasn't. It was Lunan, I think.
Yeah.
I hand them over.
Uh-huh. And what about...
Oh, sorry.
Yep. And the rope? There's currently part of it is tied around Vargo and Azaka.
So we have to split it up, and it's two 50-yard components, or 50 feet components again?
So you're gonna take the rope apart then?
I have
we had two 50-foot tied together.
Yes.
I just need one 50-foot.
I can give the 150-foot as well if needed.
Oh, I have... Mine is tied to the one that Vargo had, I think, or was it Lunan had? So I can just have that back. That's fine.
It's a part of two together, but I believe at least someone else has a rope. But shouldn't we the long rope in case we start climbing up? How far is it to the next ledge?
I'm not sure, but to get there with the very high upwards going draft, the updraft, we risk falling before we ever get that far. So we have to absolutely have a rope for this bit.
I agree. I'm just saying maybe we need it to be longer than 50 feet.
Yeah, but we will. But surely. Oh, so you want me to take rope that so I can also tighten it when I climb on it?
Yeah, it's better to not take this rope apart, but use the full length. And if someone else has a rope,
Yeah,
Vargo can use it for tying himself.
that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I can hand the rope to Varga.
Thank you very much. I also have my own rope in case it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So Dustin is going to take the pittance. Is it 10 pittance I have available?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So one every
Yeah,
10.
I
One
will
every
have
10.
hand over to you.
So one every 10 feet makes sense, right?
Yeah, you'll only need
Sure.
5 to get to the ladder then. It's 50 feet around the side of the spire.
Exactly. Yeah, and then I have 5 for getting up. So if it's further than 5, we have to hope that the ladder can hold for the last whatever feet that's up there. Unless we tie more ropes together. But then I won't have pittance for it.
Bargo will also hand you a small hammer.
Oh, well, this will be useful. Thank you. No torch
Yeah.
shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Right, so pittons in hand and the 100-foot piece of rope. Varga, have you undone yourself from that, or are you still attached to the end of the 100-foot piece of rope?
I'm still attached.
Alright, dusted rope and pittons and hammer in hand. You head out onto the ledge.
Yeah. What role would you want from me for this?
A d6 again, please. As you head out onto
If
the
I
ledge,
fly off.
you slowly skirt your way
I'm
along a
sorry.
small 2-foot wide gap.
A 3 again.
Another 3. The wind is blowing quite furiously, and from below you it seems to rush upwards. But having been on the receiving end of it once you've prepared yourself for this, grounded your feet in and waited for the gust to pass and slowly make your way further on. You make it around the corner. 20 feet more to go. In front of you, you see the ladder as you hammer some pittons in. You move on 10 feet. You hammer some more pittons in. And you make it to the ladder. What next?
I try to if Marco is still attached to the rope, I try to yank in a bit to suggest that people can actually move forward because A, I cannot throw a torch here,
I think it's done.
and then I
I think
start.
it's. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. Yeah.
I think he's done. Next one.
Well, since I'm up ahead, I'll go first.
Okay. You make your way onto the ledge, gingerly taking one step after the other. You move 10 feet, manage to get to the first piton. By the time you get to the second piton, the wind picks up again. I need you to roll a d6 for me, please. Having watched Dusted Cole move past, you copy the way he grinds his feet down into the ground and the balls of his feet to create cups under the arches. You ride the gust of wind and it passes, and you slowly move on around the corner another 10 feet, another 20 feet, until you get right next to Dusted at the bottom of the ladder, safe.
Alright.
Then I will start after a while.
Lunan, you're up. So you slowly move towards the edge, walking around the sides, and not 10 feet in, a gust of wind blows towards you. I need you to roll a d6, please. As it comes from above, washing down the face, you manage to ride through it and safely make your way around the corner, another 10 feet, another 20 feet, reaching Valrus, hand on his shoulder. I'm here. You manage to make it, no problem. Who's next?
Yeah, let it all go.
Alright. You get to the edge. As you get there, you make the mistake of looking down 160 feet all the way to the bottom. Too far to see, but the canopy beckons to you as you slowly skirt around the edge of the ledge. You manage to get 10 feet, then 20 feet. And as you get around the corner, you can see Lunan, you can see Valrus, and you can see Dusted Coal in front of you when a gust of wind blows right into your face. Whoosh. You dip your head and try and ride it, but you roll a d6, and oh, just as you dip your head, the wind sort of passes and you manage to keep your feet stable on the ground. Moving slowly against the force of the wind, you manage to make it up behind Lunan, safe and sound. Thargo, it is your turn.
I will sign to Azaka to please go first. I will pick up the pitons as we go.
It is okay. I don't mind going after you. Besides, and you look down and you can see there is maybe 2 feet's worth of rope in between the two of you. She's wrapped it around herself quite tightly that she is an arm's length behind you. If I fall, I can just grab onto your shoulders.
All right. Then
So in tandem, as you are moving through, the two of you slowly get to the edge. You undo the first couple of pitons as you move past. You move 10 feet. You feel her breathing on your neck despite the wind that's blowing, and you can hear something chattering. Roll a perception check for me.
what do I hear?
You hear like a sound like that. You're not sure what it is, but roll a perception check for me, please.
Sure.
Not 100% understanding what it is. You glance back behind you, and you can actually see she's busy chewing her nails as she's trying to hold on to you and trying to stick close to the edge. It's the weirdest thing because it's the sound of teeth clacking together and biting down on nails. You shake off this weird feeling and you move another 10 feet towards the edge, manage to get around the corner, when all of a sudden a gust of wind blows up past you. I need you to roll a d6 for me, please. Alright. As the gust of wind blows, Azaka leans forward and wraps both her arms around your stomach, as if she's riding on a motorbike behind you, grabbing you hard, and she leans in towards you. The weight of the two of you manage to keep a stable platform as the wind blows over you. As it passes, she refuses to let go, and you manage to shimmy your way all the way up to Yolena. Slightly discomforting, but safe. You manage to make it all the way through. Yeah. The 6 of you.
To Azaka, I say, great job. Thank you for holding me.
It is okay. I am doing my best to keep you safe.
We will get that mask for you. Don't worry.
Okay. And she sort of leans in close to you, and as you move all closer towards the ladder where Dusted Coal is waiting.
After a brief head count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and does it again because he's not that smart, or realizing he has to count himself. and then starts ascending the ladder.
All right. The Right, you've managed to skirt around the rock face, and you've standing at the base of the ladder, looking up. The ladder itself is old. It appears unused and in moderate condition, definitely better than the first ladder you used in your initial climb. But still, the weather has not been kind. As your eyes follow the ladder upwards, you can see faint light emanating from a cave mouth 80 feet above you. Each person climbing the ladder will need to make an athletics save to climb to the top. The first person's DC is 7. If you fail, that means a rung breaks as you climb up, and the next person's DC will be 8. Each rung is spaced 2 feet apart. When it reaches DC 10, only one of you is taller than 6 feet, which is Azaka. So the ladder will become unclimbable at DC 10. You are allowed 3 fails. The first person up is dusted.
I mean, we cannot really do much about the order right now, unfortunately.
This is correct. Vargo has pulled out 1, 2, 3, 4 pitons at the moment, and there is a 50-foot rope attaching you. But having spaced above, you know that you're going to need 80 feet of rope to reach the cave mouth above. Good thing you didn't undo the knots on the 50.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, time to start climbing then.
Right, so rope in hand, pitons as well. I need you to make an athletics check.
And that's, God, goodbye, everybody.
Alright, you start to climb, and as you reach the first, second, third rung, it snaps and breaks. You manage to save it with your other hand, and you climb past it. 10 feet up, you stick a piton in, and you slowly carry on moving up. 20 feet, you stick another piton in, and you carry on moving up. As you do, Valrus, it is your turn.
Okay.
I need you to roll an athletics check, please.
Ah,
Right.
Oh, thank God.
You managed to
Good.
you managed to pass through the missing rung. 2 feet gap of air, which means that you needed to stretch quite far and get to the next one. But you climb up after dusted. Lunan, you're up. DC 8.
Ayun, help me. I'm casting guidance on myself.
Oh, okay. You cast guidance on yourself as you cling to the ladder and you start climbing up. You don't see what all the fuss is about, you know? Really. You scamper up the ladder, no problem. I mean, it's slightly weathered, but that shouldn't be a problem at all. Next up is Yarlena.
Oh boy. Yeah, she's gonna give it a go, I guess.
Oh, Yarlena manages to follow suit, chasing Lunan up. As Dustin thinks to himself, he's only going to use his claws instead of ladders moving forward. Yarlena, you scamper up the side of the spire, 80 feet up towards the top, following the others. Vargo, it is you.
I offer Ashaka the possibility of going first, if he wants.
You look into her eyes, and as she's staring up, there appear to be bigger sources. She hasn't heard you at all. She's just standing there nodding, shaking her head, sorry, not even nodding, as she's looking up, staring.
I will take that as a no. Ashaka, feel free to stay here if you want. I think I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, but if you are having a bad time here, it might be not worth it.
I need this for my ancestors. No, no, we must go. Courage in the face of danger. And you see the look on her face becomes quite serious and stern as she moves closer to the ladder with you. Off you go.
Understood. Understood. And I climb up.
Alright. I need you to roll your athletics check for me, please.
Yeah.
Very good. So you manage to scamper your way up the ladder as well. No problem at all. And as you're climbing up, you see Azaka composing herself. Right. Alright, and slowly but surely she begins a slow ascent as she climbs up the ladder as well. She is very slow, about 30 feet behind you. Finally, you finally reach the top of the ladder, and you're greeted by an open cave entrance. Looking down, you estimate you're about 240 feet above the ground. Despite the wind, you can feel the heat coming out of the cave entrance in front of you. Smoke, too. You peer over the lip in front and you can see a rough corridor stretching 20 feet ahead, 5 foot wide and 15 foot high. Smoke is billowing into the corridor from the south, obscuring any further details.
Well, hopefully the smoke will obscure me as well. So I climb over the edge, and once again, where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's fire, there's people. Try to knock the piton in stealthily. The last piton.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to roll a stealth check for me then, please.
Watch this go. Thank God. 24.
No problem. Taking out the little hammer, you go tappity tap tap tap, and you manage to somehow knock in the piton into the lip. Right. I've marked the new map on the bottom on the left hand side.
Should I drag myself down there?
Yes. Please. Okay. So, you manage to secure the rope as you climb up and take in your surroundings, and slowly but surely everyone else behind you manages to catch up to you as well.
How many space we need? 6, right?
Yeah. I'll put Azaka still on the ladder. What have we got there? I'll move Vargo and Yolena and Lunan. There we go. Everyone good?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. As you slowly enter the corridor, the smoke and the heat are stiflingly hot. Your eyes begin to sting and your lungs start to burn as it appears to be covered with ash in the air as you're inhaling. Everyone who enters the corridor, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw with a DC 10, please.
I did the wrong one, but it's a bit more.
It was DC 10, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did I not show to players? So it's only Valrus and Azaka that fail. Yeah. Right. Both of you suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Alright.
Oh, wow.
Following the climb and the stifling hot, for every 10 minutes you spend in this environment, you'll need to re-roll. Yeah?
Well, we best move quickly then.
Right, Dusted, as you get to the edge of the corridor, roll a perception check for me, please.
16.
16. Through this hazy smoke and the thickness that is billowing out from the corridor in front of you, you smell the acrid scent of burning rubber or tar. You can hear the chittering of creatures coming from within there, and you can see a fire blazing through the thick smoke billowing out from there. They don't appear to have heard you, but you peer around the corner trying to take a look through the gloom, and you notice that the room beyond is a small chamber. Ahead of you, you can see that it opens up and branches down as well.
There was someone really good with illusions here, right? Try to pass the message down the, what do you call it, the bucket chain we have here.
I,
Um,
I, I mean, I can manage myself. Yeah, a little bit.
because I think we have some creatures up ahead. Maybe we can sneak past them with an illusion that covers the mouth of this cave. Maybe just smoke it up or something. I don't know if it's possible.
Sure. What do you want my illusion to be?
Just smoke, like, or something that can cover us as we make it across here. Buster tries to gesture in front of him
You
and to the
are
right hand side.
you're already covered in smoke.
Oh well, then I don't have to do anything. But oh well, then it doesn't matter. I think we should try to avoid the creatures, though, whatever they are. For once, having a sensible idea in his head.
So you're going to attempt to sneak past.
I'm gonna try to, yeah, at least the side here first and see if they notice me.
Okay. Then I need you to roll a stealth check, don't I? Did you already?
Only when I came in and put the pittance in,
the
but now I have a
pittance, yeah.
15 for that.
Alright. So quite stealthily, you manage to slowly move to the other side over there where you are, yes.
Just gives it a little moment to see if the chittering changes or if it's still the same.
Listening out, nothing sounds like it's changed at all. You appear to have managed
Okay,
to stealth past them.
and then I don't know if I can even gesture to you guys because it's through smoke.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Buster tries to gesture to Valrus, but I don't know if he can see me.
Valrus, roll a perception check.
Alright.
With disadvantage, I believe. Let me just double check.
Yeah,
for the
obscured.
exhaustion.
Definitely obscured.
Yeah.
A 3 and a 3.
I think you got a 3, but a 4. You watch as Dusted disappears 5 feet into the smoke ahead of you. No idea, he's just disappeared entirely.
I look behind for a second and then...
Behind you is
After-
Lunan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will move across quietly.
Alright, roll a stealth check for me, please.
to speed with the die.
Oh, wow.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so very quietly you manage to make your way across as you're moving in the dark about 2 feet. Once you get close, you see Dusted in front of you. Visibility is about 3 foot, 3 foot.
Mm.
As the smoke, you're just billowing out into like the main part of it. Lunan, as you look in front of you, you notice Dusted and Valrus both sneak off without making a sound. They disappear into the smoke ahead.
I follow suit.
Alright, you're going to roll a stealth check?
Yeah.
Wow, jeez, like... Alright, you manage to pass through the open entrance and sneak past, no problem at all. Almost bumping into Valrus and Dusted Coal, cowering in the smoky area. Yarlena, 3 people from your party have just silently tiptoed away.
She'll begin to follow suit and just gesture to Vargo that where they're going.
Okay. Are you going to be stealthy?
Yes, or at least try.
Okay. Go on then.
I need to double check what armor I'm wearing. Because I think I might be wearing heavy armor. I can't remember.
Was
Oh
it-
no,
was
it's
it-
leather.
No.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
leather.
exactly.
That's alright.
It's the jungle. None of you are wearing heavy as far as I can remember.
Oh yeah. I think it was a 13.
With the +3 or without the +3?
With the +3.
13. So, as far as you can tell, you stealthily make it across the gap where the smoke is billowing out, almost bumping into Lunan. Vargo.
Yeah, so just for good measure, I will cast a minor illusion just in the gap between the...
Mm-hmm. In
There.
the entrance way,
Thankfully, minor illusion has no verbal component, so I don't have to make noise.
Mm-hmm.
And the illusion will be just an opaque haze, just as the one we are currently in.
Okay.
And I will try to stealthily pass to my companions.
Alright, roll a stealth check after you cast your illusion. Wow.
It's at disadvantage, so it's 10.
Did you... At the moment, it's Valrus that rolls at disadvantage, because you passed your exhaustion check.
Yeah, but
No, but I'm wearing medium
Oh,
armor.
you're wearing medium armor. Oh, okay.
So unless the illusion helps, it's a 10.
Okay. As far as you know, you managed to move stealthily across. Without anything happening. Alright. Azaka comes up behind you. Wow. So she rolls at disadvantage as well and gets a 22. I rolled an 18 and a 20. Alright. All of you are crowded against the little entrance over here, supposedly having stealthily passed the entrance gap. Valrus and Dusted Coal are near the front. Let me
Yeah, I was just looking at the creatures or keeping a watch. So I think Valvis is in the front more
All
so than
right.
I am.
So you pass by the 30-foot chamber with the bonfire in the area. As you move past the entrance to it silently, you head down the small corridor, moving east. And the corridor then turns south again into another chamber. In the far east corner, bear with me. In the far east corner, lying bound and gagged, is a bedraggled Aarakocra. His eyes are closed, his beak is pale pink, and his feathers have lost their bright plumage. Dried blood covers his body in many places, as if he has been used as a plaything for torture. In the other nook of the chamber, you immediately notice the smoke rising through a tube in the ceiling, similar to the previous one, and you can also see gaps that could be used as handholds. The ceiling, however, here is 15 feet high, and as you pass through the narrow gap, the air begins to thin ever so slightly under the higher ceiling.
Alright.
I need everybody to make another Constitution exhaustion check before you move into this other chamber. It's a DC 10.
Oh dear, Valvis.
Yeah.
And I need to roll Azaka. Okay, so Valrys, you take another level of exhaustion.
Is there a place to mark it, by the way? I don't see it on the
I don't actually
sheet.
think so on the character.
Is there any way to keep track of exhaustion?
Yes, you can put a marker on your character by right-clicking and adding condition, I think, is it? Concentrate, no. Marker, concentration, advantages. Hasten, condition.
Oh yeah, the bottom. If you click
Right
conditions at the bottom, there's exhaustion levels. Yeah, that's it.
Nice, perfect.
So just
Thank
to
you.
to the right of your armor class, there is. I think it's buffs, and next is conditions. If you pick the condition one at the very bottom of that, it says exhaustion, and you can click it in, so it automatically, for example, rolls disadvantage and all that kind of stuff for you.
Man, I love D&D Beyond. Thank you.
So, Valrys, your exhaustion is also level 2 now. Bearing in mind you need one long rest to cure one level of exhaustion, so you will need 2 long rests to clear everything.
Yep.
Or maybe just one, hypothetically.
Or one very long one.
And I got 1 exhaustion, right?
Yeah. Azaka has got 1 exhaustion as well. So, level 1 is disadvantage on ability checks. Level 2 is speed halved, as well as disadvantage on ability checks. Level 3 will be disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. Level 4 is hit point maximum halved. Level 5 is speed reduced to 0. And then level 6 is dead.
Yep.
Yeah. How long has it been since we started climbing the tower?
It has been, I would say, about an hour or so.
Okay, excellent. I'm just keeping track because some of us has buffs that last 8 hours. So.
Yeah.
I think there's people affected by AIDS, so they have +5 hit points or something like that.
An hour in that tunnel could kill us.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to get out of here.
Yeah. This chamber has got a higher ceiling, and the air around the Aarakocra on the ground seems a little bit thinner. However, you can see he's definitely suffering from exhaustion himself, and he appears to be in a very poor condition. His beak and claws and wings are all bound with rope.
Did we see who was in that other room? I asked Dusted.
I could only hear chittering, like bird-like chittering, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and while I doubt there's Aarakocra in there, I can only assume that it's Terrafolk.
Wait, DM question. The Aarakocra were the ones that populated in Kirsabal, correct?
Correct.
Oh, alright.
Has everyone moved past Dusted yet? Or are you waiting for me to climb up?
As everyone
I'm
moved
moving.
into this chamber, Azaka moves into the chamber out of the smoke.
Yeah.
So there is
Okay,
no
then I can follow
smoke in
suit.
this chamber.
The smoke is a lot thinner. As you look around, you can see that the shaft in the ceiling is acting as a chimney to try and suck out most of the smoke. So because it's 15 foot high, the billowing smoke that has come out... Let me just make sure I'm on the right one. Yeah. So the smoke has come out from here, and it's gone straight to the chimney and out. Where the Aarakocra is lying is almost smoke-free. In some of the corners where Azaka is standing is almost smoke-free. As you can imagine, there would be a vacuum that's sucking all the smoke out.
So do we get a sense that it is safe to stay here for a bit, just to talk?
Correct. It is, yeah, the further into this chamber below the chimney, the safer it is.
I think the Aarakocra, that's gonna move over it to a bit and just tap it on the. How is he sat? Is he like sat with his legs out, or?
He's lying on the ground in the fetal position, tied up.
Oh, she's gonna, I don't know, just tap him on the side, and she'll just heal him for 1 point of healing, just to, I don't know, help a little bit,
Okay.
and then she'll check, and then she'll
As you
check on him after.
slowly make your way. You're using lay hands?
Yes.
Okay. So you slowly move across to the Aarakocra to check to see if he's breathing and if it's still alive. As you lay hands on him and heal him for 1 point, you wait. And a little bit like a defibrillator warming up inside the trauma unit, his eyes slowly start to flutter as you can see life slowly seeping back into the body. The wounds you can't see at all because they're so covered in dried blood that you don't really know how deep they go. But he opens one of his eyes and you can see him slowly breathe out as he looks at you. And he looks past you, squinting to take in the 6 of you standing around. The look across his face is slightly confused. His beak is also tied closed, so he can't speak.
Oh. She'll say, "Are you okay, Mr. Bud?" And then she'll put a finger to her lips to kind of signal to if he's gonna respond to be quiet, and then she'll go and try and take off the bind on his beak.
Okay, and what language are you speaking in?
She'll try common.
Okay. He
Which
looks
probably won't work.
he looks frightened initially, confused, and you definitely see some fear in his eyes until you start to take the rope off his beak and he seems to become slightly more concerned. Looking around, does anybody speak Arakocra?
That's a
Nope.
fucking niche language. Has anyone been to Chove before? Can they speak Arakocra? I don't know.
Oh, does our guide speak Aragog?
Yeah, they did it. They teach it in high school.
Let's have a quick look. The
On
guide
sea level.
only speaks in common, actually.
Ah.
Oh,
As you take the rope off the Arakocra, he sort of is coughing and choking, and then one of his hands, he sort of lifts a hand cupping to his mouth as if to indicate he's thirsty.
she'll pour a little bit of her water from her water skin in his mouth. Beak, even.
Into his beak, okay.
Yeah.
And as he drinks from the water, you can see relief is in his face. And he starts chittering silently to you quite slowly. Realizes you don't understand, and then switches into common. Yeah.
Thank God.
Hold on, I need to get the accent right. Well, howdy, y'all.
No.
He says in his broken English, what y'all doing over here? By golly, why, thank you for giving me some of that water. I sure do appreciate it. What are y'all doing up here?
We are looking for a mask. What are you doing here?
Well, I was captured on one of my patrols. These goddamn terror folk. They snuck up behind me and dive bombed me, I tell you. It was like being back in Nam. I've been kept a prisoner here for God knows how many days. Oh, I tell you what. There's 4 of them. Did you manage to clear them out? I could commit murder, I tell you.
No, they are outside.
His eyes open, quite surprised, as his legs and his wings and his hands are still pretty much bound. What? God damn, you mean you didn't kill them? Those sons of bitches. We ain't gonna be safe. They're gonna raise the alarm. You gotta sneak in there and kill them.
I think we will be quiet first, if just in case.
Okay.
They can fly the terror folk, can't they? We saw them flying outside, didn't we?
Yes, you saw them
Yeah.
flying outside.
Yeah. Not all of us can fly.
Well, I guess being a humanoid, that's a crying shame. I need to get back to my people and kiss the ball. Do you think you can help me out?
We were planning on going there after here.
What? Shut the front door.
Do you want us? Do you want us to notice you? I mean, tell you when we happen to finish this terrafolk after?
Is that your mission here? Are y'all here to end these terrorfolk?
I'm afraid we might have no other option, but yeah.
Well, if you could
In case we do.
If you could cut me free, by golly, I sure would be grateful. My name's Nefer, by the way.
Never. All right, taking notes.
He's basically he's just wearing a loincloth. You can see he has no weapons. How long he's been down here, you can't tell, but he does look badly beaten. He would definitely need some help making it out here. He wouldn't be able to fight his way out at all.
Are you okay with staying here until we make the next move?
Where are you headed to?
And Vargo just points with his finger upwards.
God damn, you going up there? I tell you, y'all better be careful. There must be about 8 to 10 of them terror folk up there. And if you ain't done killing these 4 down here, my prisoners, they'll be up to join them too.
Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, indeed.
There are 4 down here.
Yeah. 4 brutal old bastards. They've been cutting pieces off of me. Trying to clip my wings. Beating me up from noon till night.
Why?
Why? They're our sworn enemies, they are. They're trying to be getting me some information out of me from Kilsabal. But I didn't stitch, I tell you.
You are very brave.
I am a proud Arakakra. I will not be turning my back on my kin.
Alright, well, with this mist, I think an ambush should be possible.
That sounds like a great idea.
What do you guys think?
I think if we have to continue up this tower, I'd rather be having them dead than at our backs.
I suppose it also allows for some kind of distraction. If we kill 4 down here and snuff out the flame, they wouldn't be able to see us up top and they would come down here. So if we can time it just right, we might actually avoid the ones upstairs.
How do they even fit inside here? They were huge.
Well, I don't know, maybe they can squeeze together real nicely. I mean, wingspans are quite huge in these things. Maybe we're just sort of like delusioned by the effect of the wingspan.
Alright. So, if we hide, I can make a noise in the direction of the stairs. If any of those things are inside here, I will assume they will come out, and head in that direction. That way we can catch them in the back.
Well, maybe we shouldn't have them have
From the back.
maybe we shouldn't have let them have a clear escape route to the outside, because then they can get the others upstairs out. I think we have to trap them where they are now.
I agree. And if
Yeah.
we catch them unaware, we might be able to get in a hit or two before they get alerted.
Well,
Right.
we aren't getting better standing down here in the swamp, so we best be quick about it.
I think we should have at least 2 people blocking the route out.
I'll block.
Alright.
So who chases in with me?
I'll help you.
Excellent.
Right. I think we are going to call it a night here. And we'll pick this up again in 3 weeks' time? On the 29th. The Dusted Cole has got all of the herbalisms over there, you know. Hey, the Oli Suba joint.
Yep. And if you smoke it, I mean, make a tea of it.
You become revitalized.
Yeah,
Chult sounds just like Amsterdam.
excellent.
Simple. We can take out these 4 down here, then take a long rest in their cave.
It's okay.
Pass the peace pipe, please.
Sit around the fire, you know.
Speaking of which, why don't you roll a perception check for me? Or yeah,
Which
dusted.
one of us?
Dusted.
19.
Okay. Speaking of things that you can smoke and everything, being inside this acrid smoke, you almost feel as if you're getting slightly high as well. The tar and the smoke coming off from the bonfire is not normal. There's some sort of like chemical that is stinging your eyes and actually exhausting you a lot quicker as well. So whatever it is that they're throwing onto the bonfire is obviously some sort of a psychotic, maybe some sort of a drug that is taking place. And
Well, I need to add that to the summary of today.
with that little tidbit of information that you can probably use to plan your ambush, don't forget that those who are walking out to defend the ladder will need to do stealth checks again. So
I think we were just blocking the entrance, like here, where the blue line ends.
okay. Right, is everyone happy if we call it for the night over here and we
Yeah.
tackle this for the next
Sure.
session? Cool. In which case then, for the evening, you guys have managed to come 3/4 up the way of the tower. You've managed to meet Nefer and dispatch of a number of really difficult beasties on the way up here. So far so good. We'll pick up, what did we say, the 29th. In the meantime, the recordings will go out in between that time, so you guys don't have to wait for too long.